join link to Hangout if that'd be alright.
Oh, to the hangout, absolutely. Yeah, no problem.
But I don't even know if they're around, so we'll just start. And if they pop in, then I'll ask them. If they don't, they don't.
Okay, so drugs and drug experiences. Well,
So today I'm on caffeine and
mm,
marijuana.
hmm
What else? Advil, gabapentin,
yeah,
and hydrocodone.
okay.
What are you currently drugged up with, Sydney?
I'm on citalopram, clonazepam, caffeine, and cannabis.
All right, it's combo. What about you,
Yeah,
Pierre?
yeah, I can say I'm just jealous because I'm not on drug at all.
Oh, you're sober.
Yeah.
Gee, poor thing.
Damn, what's the matter with you?
Yeah. No money, no
Oh, I
drugs.
forgot about the Adderall.
Adderall.
Okay,
Oh, okay then.
throw that in too. So I forgot where exactly we were when I suggested putting this on a live stream. Um,
I'm actually not quite sure
exact
myself.
subject. I know it was having to do with LSD. Oh yeah, patterns, right? We're starting to talk about
Yeah.
patterns and yeah.
And
Do you want
and
to start? I was going to ask you
I
first.
wanted to make the story and then you
Yeah, sorry. You know what?
ask
I
about
totally
this stuff.
interrupted, but at least we got back there. So, what do you think?
So let me tell you a story. After I was back from the party and stuff, and all these alcohol and the usual stuff went away from me. I closed my eyes, and the movie started. Like, I don't know how, but I went into my head. There was no brain, only I could see the skull from inside. And I looked up, and on the skull there were some patterns. I couldn't describe them for real, but uh, um, they were getting bigger and bigger and more intensive, and I could kind of um, pull some patterns out from the background towards me, look them up, and send them back. And after a while, um, I created kind of um, mirrors, and there was like the in the shape of a hexagon, but like many, there was a hexagon pattern, and in this hexagon pattern were hexagon mirrors, and there were like four of them. Um, and I could just like um, uh, with my hand reaching towards one of the mirror, pull them down, make a pattern there, and then it will mirror on the other ones. And then because I enjoyed kind of, um, I tried to make uh, thunder blaze. How do you call it? Like kind of electricity and electricity beams, and I throw it at one's mirror, and it went from one place to the other, and it ended like I was playing a symphony just by throwing energy beams to these mirrors, and I was fully control of it. And
Could you hear there was music produced by this too?
no, because I was for all other people, I was pretending to lying in bed and sleeping, so I didn't move. I was totally quiet. So and
Could you
but
hear
the
music in
movie,
your head, or was it just
no, it was quiet
quiet?
because I was quiet, and yeah, and it went like for, I would say, for at least 3 hours I was doing it, and after that it went the 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 drugs starting to lose uh, the strength,
Yeah.
and it ended like a black screen, and from time to time it's popped some figures out of boom, 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 and it was slower and slower and slower, and at one point it ended, and I knew I was through.
Wow.
But I think in the whole it took like 8 hours, because when I opened my eyes, it was already the sun was already shining,
Wow.
and it was like 11 in the morning or something.
So it flew you right into sleep. You didn't even know like when you passed that border. You just went right in there.
No, I don't think I was asleep at some point. I wasn't asleep. I was awake, because when the power was uh, lower and lower and lower, all the picture got lower and lower. So I knew, oh fuck, it's going away. So I
Um,
have to see it, and so the skull went away, and it was darker and darker and darker, and only from time to time something popped up, and I enjoying it. Oh come on, please let me see one more. Bum, bum.
so when you
Uh,
opened your eyes though, and it was light, was it not dark before? Like when you went into this state, this
no, I came from a party. It was like, I would say 2 o'clock in the night or something. So it
uh,
was dark outside, and I just went straight to my bed, and because I knew I was full of this stuff,
mhm.
and I didn't want to talk to anybody else. Because I had visions before that, like I told you, with the bunnies on walls, and some
Right.
funny creatures crawling up from
Just
the
made
big,
of whatever textures you were looking at, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I knew I wasn't afraid of this, right? Because I knew, oh, I took something, right, and it will
The effects,
uh,
and it's temporary.
yes. So
Yeah.
I didn't think it was real, right? I knew it was in my head. So it was like two movies: the reality, which was in the background, and in front of this was bam flashing. Everything was flashing, and because some people are saying they will have like a bad trip, and they see horrible stuff and things. But I wasn't afraid. I knew exactly why the thing is happening,
Mhm.
right? So I wasn't afraid of anything which
That's a
will
good.
come up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's definitely a good place to be. Not afraid of anything. Potentially not afraid of anything, because yeah, it just means you're never gonna sort of have your own dark thoughts or whatever
right.
turn on you.
I was just enjoying and jumping into it and saying, okay, whatever happens, happens. Let's like let's go through it.
That's cool.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely the way to be. Yeah.
And it, this was pretty good.
Yeah. I think what I've experienced is every time I could probably say that there have been any inklings of like a bad trip present, it it mostly had to do with two things. Like important things to me were not as I thought they were. Like relationships with people or certain conditions in my life, and then also that like I wasn't going to come down from the drug. Like those two things were the only things that ever made like feelings like a bad trip was going to happen or was starting to happen or whatever. Um, I never saw anything that scared me. You know, I never hallucinated anything that scared me. It was always just about shadow shifting and patterns, colors, delays in adjusting to colors and lights and stuff like that. It's I think it's funny when people depict a drug like LSD in that someone's running from like a big monster or something, like that. I've never heard of anybody having that kind of experience, where they actually see something that really truly is not there.
Oh, no, I had it. Like I had creatures coming behind uh, a
Creatures.
door, or yeah, like like really terrible looking
Were
creatures.
they like
But
just
but but
were they made
it
of? Like,
didn't scare me.
okay,
I was, yeah, this is the drug. I was fully aware I'm on drugs, right?
wow,
If
I've never.
I didn't lose it, right? I knew why it's happening, so I just watch it. I was really interesting. Wow, oh, this is kind of fun. Oh, I never saw it before, and how I'll deal with it. But I never had a fear of it. Oh, wow, or something like that.
Like this, whatever this is going to get me. It's after me.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting because I've never had that experience. But I'm also someone that likes to keep like one foot on the floor, if you know what I mean. Like, I really don't like the idea of losing control of my my perception, and um, it bothers me to. I mean, I should probably learn to surrender to it because otherwise, what's the point? But yeah, like I have a hard time like giving up my will to a drug like that, and experiencing it fully, without being somewhat like paranoid, being like aware of what could happen.
no, you cannot be aware. I mean, the only thing I couldn't know what will happen, or I couldn't imagine it because everything was so bomb, and um, but I knew, I don't know, I didn't lose my consciousness in the way that I always had in my head. This is happening because of I did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not the reality. So I was just watching it like a movie and
That's
enjoying it.
that's definitely like that has to be like the best way to do it, because I remember this one point looking in the mirror and thinking to myself like, do I always look like this? And it freaked me out so bad, and I couldn't get that thought out of my head that like I just looked somehow not right at all, like, and most people say don't look in the mirror unless you're just going to stay there all night. you know Good idea. um, but so did you already cover like what were the two settings, like as far as like where you were said you were at a party, right?
Yeah,
And then was there more than once you said?
yeah. No, oh, twice. I did it twice.
Like, what was the other setting?
Also a party. I just and it took like 3 years to do it
What was
again,
mhm.
because I found it the experience was so big so intensive that it makes me like think, oh, this was enough for the future or something, right?
Mhm.
Um, and it was very satisfying every time.
How old were
Um,
you when these happened?
like 30.
Oh, okay, cool.
Um, yeah.
Were the other people in the picture doing the same kind of drugs, or did what was happening?
I can tell because it wasn't a party. I knew a few people or some people who were doing this, and I knew everything is there, everything when I wanted to. So I choose this and choose this and choose this. Of course, with alcohol, and if you are also under influence of cocaine, you lose your control
Ability to judge
to,
very well.
yeah, to judge very well, right? Because nothing can like stop you, or
Right. You're in a very hedonistic frame of
yeah,
mind and spontaneous
yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. So I just did it, and the second time I just wanted to do it once again,
Mm.
and I did it, and but it was also like enough. I can like you eat enough and you cannot eat anymore. um, yeah, it wasn't like waking up on the next day and, oh, I need another part of it. It was so satisfying that it lasted for a very very long time, and and because I can still remember it, um, you can be sure that it was very strong. It doesn't blur out. Maybe I cannot, of course, describe it in English with my words how it was, but in my head, I know exactly how it was. Still, every second of it.
Hmm. And this was experience with cocaine or
No,
acid.
no, it was the LSD
Okay, I
and
just want
all
to make
this stuff. I mean the cocaine. Um, I used to do it for some years, but only once a year, like birthday party or something.
sure.
But
I wanted to take a second, just really quick, to welcome Brother John. Just snuck in, but hold on. Um, so
grumpy.
I don't know. What else do you personally want to talk about, Pio? Should I ask you questions, or do you want to ask some questions yourself?
I have at the moment no question.
Let's see. So you've only had two experiences. I've actually had quite a few more. Um,
I mean, with the heavy stuff. I mean, the cocaine, or I took it like, as I told you, for over 10 years, but only once a year. I never. Okay, I bought, let's say, a gram, and a gram lasted for a week, right?
oh wow, that's like most people I
Yeah, people will
would last
laugh. Yeah, people will laugh about it, right?
and they'd run out like pretty quick too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, for me, that was something that I did with just one friend who that was his drug of choice. And maybe once every couple of months, he would call me up. And this was maybe over, didn't happen every couple of months, but maybe like 3 or 4 times a year. He'd call me up. We'd go dancing. We'd start at his house, have a drink, have a little bit of coke, go dancing, and then come back to his house and stay up all night watching like TV or whatever and talking and getting high.
Yeah,
And
I
driving
mean,
home in the morning. That was it.
it's a very communicative drug, but
Yes, you talk a lot.
yeah, but on the other side, it makes you say things which you never say because
That's true.
you have no border to hurt
Yeah. What do
someone's
they call it?
feelings.
Yeah, no borders. You feel very much like you're on like a truth drug almost. Like you have to say everything.
Yeah,
Can't hold.
uh,
So yeah.
but you have no like I would say no judgment, but
Mhm.
it makes you like you don't care. You just say the stuff right away. This is what
Mhm.
this drug is doing. And of course, if you take it, you can drink a lot and do all the usual stuff which you cannot do. Is doing. And of course, if you take, you can drink and drink and drink and drink, and then if you get tired, you just take another line, and you can drink and drink and drink and drink, right?
Yeah.
So,
I only abused it that way probably twice. When we were out and about, and we knew the bartenders, and they were pouring very heavy, and it was just one of those nights. But I had fun a lot of times. There was only one time where I actually had like a moment of panic, um, where I thought, like I think I might have done too much or something.
from
Maybe,
cocaine.
maybe two, yeah, maybe two moments of panic over my lifetime.
Hmm.
It's been like, oh my goodness, probably 20 years. Yeah, 20 years I've done that.
I mean, cocaine makes you also work very, very good. Um, so I use it like twice on a work where um, I had to prepare a booth for a fair in Taiwan,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working like for 2 weeks for this, and I was working in a company, and it's not like I was only working for this, but other people were doing it too.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like 3 days to the fair, and all these other guys came up with stuff which when I saw it, because I was convinced they will do a good stuff, when I saw it, I thought, oh my OMG, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot show it there. And I knew I have only 3 days. And it was a weekend. And yeah, so I bought another gram of Coke. And I told a friend of mine, please drive me to the company. I want to work. And I work the whole weekend through without sleeping, preparing for the booth, because I had like to correct all the mistakes what the other guys did.
Did you get
Because,
through it?
and I did it. And
Wow.
and because it makes you work. It's like the opposite of weed. When you smoke weed and you try to work, or at least my place, right? You're in the mood for working, but you're doing the stuff over and over again because you forgot some stuff in between, or suddenly you
That's
cannot remember.
true. You get
You
distracted.
can you
Yeah,
cannot remember how to do it, right?
that's so true. Yeah, you get like ultra distracted, and with something like Coke, you're very focused.
Yeah,
So
and you do this stuff straight away, and yeah, and you just do it. You're working it through, and yeah. After the 3 days, of course, I was ill, and my nose was running, and I felt horrible. But I did my job, right?
how long did it take to recover?
2 days.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Welcome, Mark, and Brother John.
Are there no long-term
Thanks. Is
effects?
this whose hang is this?
This is Sydney's hang.
Sydney.
He's
Oh,
here. I think he's here. He was a minute ago.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said Sydney who?
Sydney Winston.
Winston.
Oh, okay, bye.
No.
Oh, he's a
Oh,
jolly
Sydney.
old fellow.
Sydney, he mustn't know you.
No.
That's funny. I feel like I've been set up. So, Kat, you said something interesting a while back.
Yes.
In that you said that if it was healthy, well, I think you were referring to the cocaine.
Oh, right.
If it was healthy for you, you'd do as much as there wouldn't be enough on this planet for you, or something like that.
I didn't say that. I said I'd probably.
Okay, but you know what I mean.
I said I'd probably be a daily user. I'd use it the same way I currently use like coffee. You know, like you just if I'm tired, I just grab my coffee and I start drinking. And when I've had enough coffee, I put it down. I mean, that's kind of probably how I would be. You know, just because I like to feel up and stimulated and awake and energized and stuff. I don't always get it naturally, so you know that's why I drink coffee. That's why, yeah. But anyway.
But I don't even only like the feeling, but I like the medical taste of it. How it's going around my teeth, and it's destroying your teeth and your stuff. But the taste of it, the medicals, because it tastes like a horrible medicine, kind of.
Mhm.
It has specific, yeah.
Are you talking about coke?
About the cocaine when you put
You
it
know
in your
what's
nose and you put the like the rest on your teeth or on your
yeah, right. Gums, yeah.
yeah. So it has a specific taste, and
Yeah.
I like kind of love it too.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Like I at first, of course, thought it didn't taste good, but after a while, like I actually liked it. I say as I make a. Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, but it's only good if you do it like once a year, right? I don't know. I don't think if I would do it like every day, right, it will be nice feeling too. Because everything is has a bad side to it too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's something that I'll probably never do again. I just have like, you know, I don't have like too many stories about. Most of my stories have to do with going, like dancing at a few, you know, gay clubs that I was going, you know, to at the time with friends of mine.
Is that why you'd say you do it every day? Is because of the fact that it motivates you to do stuff like dancing and whatever?
No, no. It's more like just getting stuff done. You know.
Oh, okay. All right.
Having the energy to get things done that I need to get done.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Because sometimes coffee, you know, it just doesn't really do much.
Coffee does everything. Oh, what are you talking about?
No, coffee is shit.
Come on. Hey. I'm pro coffee.
I'm pro caffeine.
Are we gonna have caffeine wars here?
No. I mean, I hate coffee, but I drink 2 energy drinks a day.
So, okay, let's talk about the positive benefits of caffeine.
Positive benefits? I know there are some. I could probably look them up. I know that there are quite a few positive benefits.
Yeah, it's good for your hair.
Is it?
I must
Yeah,
be drinking it the wrong way.
Yeah. All these new shampoos have caffeine in it, and it's regenerate your hair and shit.
Right.
But it don't work. It don't work with me.
Well,
All right,
it worked on the guy in the commercial.
Okay. Improves energy levels and makes you smarter. I don't know about that smarter part.
I don't know about that.
It
But hold
boosts
on,
your
let me have another sip and let me feel. I'll tell you if I can answer that after this sip.
Yeah. Feel you smarter now. Yeah, right.
Well, I've probably got another
Hey,
15
wait. Sydney,
milliliters of.
are you a Zionist?
I am a Zionist.
What does that mean exactly? I am totally in the dark.
Everybody is a Zionist.
But what does that mean?
It means in the prayer in the Old Testament, there is a prayer which says, "We'll meet all at Zion." So every religion.
So now that you know there's two Sydneys in this room, which one were you talking to?
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just confused. That's all.
Yeah.
So wait, are you an atheist or are you not?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
So tell me again what a Zionist is?
A Zionist. Well, Zionism is the support for a homeland for the Jewish nation, I guess, in where it is right now. So the Zionist dream is almost done. Is almost complete.
Do you? Okay, I guess I don't know enough about.
But you have to know where this word come from, right?
All right,
So, wait.
all right. Pio, let him take over. Go ahead.
Take over. It sounds a bit harsh. No, there is a prayer, or if you read the Old Testament, all these people who are believing in the Abrahamic God, they pray that at some point we'll meet all at Zion. And somebody took this word and referred it to the Jews who wanted to have their own state. But in fact, the Christians are all Zionists, and everybody who says, I'm belonging kind of to the Abrahamic religion is a Zionist too, because he went with the same prayer. So this is where the word comes from.
What is prayer again? Can you say it?
No, the prayer is just, we'll meet at Zion in one time.
Oh, okay.
That's all. And yeah.
That's not my story, but
yeah,
I think yours.
But
I think yours sucks.
But what is kind of understood today is exactly what Sydney said, that those are the people who are supporting the Jewish states in the Middle East. But if you look, if you go to America, all these Christians are for a Jewish state, so they are also Zionists. But there are other people who will take it in a bad way and will say, oh, those are the Jews who wants to control the world.
Is that the best you could do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 2 out of 10 for that.
Give me the 3.
No.
So, I really never talk politics with you, Sydney, because I think that we would just disagree on too much. And I also feel like I'm not well enough informed about what's happening right now in the world to have that discussion, and feel like I'm doing a good job. So, anyway.
No, but you asked for it. Why you ask for it?
Well, because I think the people that left had an issue with some political views, and I was just making a comment.
Yes, that Mark Seidel guy. That Mark Seidel. I have a history with him. The fact that I'm a Zionist absolutely irks him. He's like, he hates me to the core of his core because I'm a Zionist.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll dig into that another day with you, but since we weren't talking about
No,
politics,
we can switch to it right now. I don't mind. In fact, I've already,
well, no, that's just the thing. Like, I can't.
my mindset is already, you asked the question, so you're already ready for it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
You asked the question.
You asked a question. You brought it up.
You brought it up. You changed the
Yeah.
subject. I'm glad you did. Because it's a
but-
better subject.
But here's the
So,
thing,
so
like,
what is your opinion then about science?
I felt all left out of the drugs because I couldn't really participate. But hey, let's talk Zionism.
like I'm all up in there with that. I would have to do like some. I would have to understand the issue before I could even comment on it. I just wanted to know if you were one or not because somebody was saying that was in agreement with you. So I was just wanting to know. Okay, well, what is that then? You know, because I didn't know. That was the only reason.
Well, I'd be more than willing to come back to the subject once you've done a little bit of read up.
All right, yeah.
Because I don't want you to get all your information about it from me, even though
No, that's
even though it'll more than likely correspond to what you read overall. I don't. I want you to get it of your own, of your own sort of research and your own sources. More than one, I hope.
Usually
I'm one of them, but I don't want to be the first one or one of them that you're comparing anything to.
Right.
So when do you want to do your research? When do you want to
I can tell you an initial response that I think I've had for a while, but I need it to be more fleshed out.
Oh, well, we could start there.
So, hold on. Let me look.
Just take a line and then you can speak freely.
Okay, now, firstly, who are you going to be talking to?
What do you mean? You, I guess.
I'm just making comments.
Both of you.
Well, what I'm suggesting is, we both you talk to both of us, although we don't both answer at the same time. And Pio goes first.
No. I will shut up.
No.
Okay.
That's not what I said.
Okay, so
all right, go for it.
I don't believe that we should use this. It's in the Bible, right? This idea that
No, nothing to do with the Bible. It's got nothing to do with the Bible.
has nothing to do with the Bible. So
Well, other than the actual sort of general location.
Right, but the idea that that's their land.
Okay,
right?
No. The land could have been anywhere. Literally, it could have been in Africa. It could have been, Nebraska could have been Israel for all that really. Utah is Mormon land, and Nebraska could be Israel. I mean, it's just it's at that spot because that was kind of the focus of where it's always kind of been focused on, and they never, even though they had these other alternatives, they weren't very viable, so they stuck to the region, the historical region, and it is historical for the Jews because of because of Jerusalem specifically, and the old temple within that city, which was essentially the central backbone of Judaism before the destruction of the Second Temple.
Okay.
Now I will add, as far as my particular secular Zionism is concerned, and I'm a secular Zionist, and I emphasize that I'm a secular Zionist. And the reason I'm a secular Zionist is because when I was a very young lad, I was still an atheist, but when I was a very young lad, and I was reading up about all these horrors of Hitler and the Second World War and Nazis and camps and concentration camps and gas chambers and torture and working and labor camps and death. I was very young when I read that. And I used to think to myself, wow, I'm so glad that I wasn't alive then but they wouldn't have got me anyhow because I'm not like them. I'm not, I'm not like them. I'm not like, a Jew like they, like you see in those pictures. I'm just like,
Well,
any Western guy, any Western dude. But then I remembered, hey, in Germany, because I was reading about it, in Germany it didn't matter if you were on record as being a Jew. It didn't matter what your personal thoughts were. And I thought to myself, then shit, that means that if they had caught me at the time, not even a Jew, just an atheist, an absolute atheist. If they caught me, even though I'm an atheist, I'm in the gas chambers, I'm in the ovens or whatever, right? So that is why I so support the idea of having a Jewish state like Israel specifically, and a very strong one. So that can never ever happen again, because that is the scariest thing for me to think about in the whole world.
your argument is so that they have a truly safe place to be if they need one.
Not that they. There's no they here, Cat. There's no they. It's me. I'm very, very, very selfish here, and it's very possible that in a fascist situation, that they go for the Jews. I'm just a Jew, and off I go. I'm not an atheist. I'm not a humanist. I'm just a Jew, and off they take me. But having an Israel to support my right to not be carted off to a concentration camp makes me feel a lot better. Thank you very much.
And this is true, Kat. I won't agree because I'm nearly in the same position as Sydney. It doesn't matter if I'm an atheist or I'm living in Germany and I don't wear the stuff which people think like Jews look, right? I don't have a hat, I don't have pious, I don't wear the black clothes and stuff. I don't go to synagogue. It doesn't matter. In Nazi Germany, when they saw your name, and my name will be also already suspicious, but they will find out my mother is a Jew. I'll be a Jew, and I'll be in a concentration camp. So this state, because it exists, is the only state which will take me and protect me. The only one state in the world which would do it. That's why I'm for it too. That's
I echo that 100%.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a question. How do you feel about taking land from Palestinians in order to
firstly, you can't just go throw in the word Palestinian as if it means anything, because it doesn't. You have to you've got to have a meaning to the word Palestinian, and I'm not sure that we define the word Palestinian the same.
How about non-Jewish people who are already on the land in question?
They're called Israelis. What are you talking about?
Okay. I'm not sure.
Kat, first we have to inform you what Palestine or where because this is the story which is brought out to all the world. In fact, the Jews are the Palestinians too. Not the only one, but they are Palestinians. Palestine is a name which was given by the Romans to a province that they gave this name. And if the area was not only Israel like it is today, it was also Iran, Lebanon. And if you take a look at the map, 75% of Palestine was given to Iran. The remaining 25% was shared 40-60 between the Jews and the Muslims. The Muslims got 60%, not the Jews. And so of the 25%, right? It was like Iran. All the states were created after World War II.
Mm-hmm.
The Jews accepted it. The Muslims did not. They wanted to have all this land, so they started the war in 1948, trying to get everything. At those times, Israel did not have the technology like it has today. They had only forks and rifles from the past, but they defeated their land because they knew, whoa, this is the only, because of the same reason I and Sydney told you, because it will be the only land where we can live proudly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't
and
think that's very convincing. Are you convinced, Kat?
Well, the thing is this is I have I kind of have two viewpoints on this, and really keep in mind that these are the viewpoints of someone who is not
No,
very well.
absolutely. Well, that's the way it starts, right?
no.
That's how you learn.
All right, sometimes people get opinions on things that are pretty wacky because they don't have all the information. So it's
But if you think of Palestinians, you think of those people
Let
who
her
are living
talk.
now in Gaza. And no, I'm just want to be. This is the only
Well, let her
question.
talk.
the thing is, like, I tend to want to think along the lines that there's plenty of space for people, and that there should be a place that fulfills the the needs of those people and the requirements of the place. I don't know that it has to be exactly on top of where it has always, intended to be, or if it could be shifted over a little bit so that, I don't know, so that it's still doable, it still fulfills its purpose, it's still near enough so that it doesn't really matter. I don't know if people would be happy with that, and I don't know if it's even possible. But that's kind of along the line that I want to go, because then it displaces less people. Less people get hurt. There's less conflict. Maybe I don't know if conflict will grow because it always seems to, but maybe there's something to be put in the way to create safeguards against it. I don't know. I don't know.
I just trying to put some relativity into this. I don't quite understand what you mean, because more people get killed in Chicago every day than in Israel probably every year. More people get killed in New York every day probably than in Israel every year. So what exactly conflict and are you trying to resolve in a different country from a country that you haven't resolved any of the conflicts in it yet? As a country yourselves, why are you giving another country the rules or the land or dictating what it should have and what it shouldn't have? I'm just trying to. You're painting a picture of the Palestinians being in such in a situation of such distress that it bothers you.
No,
Hold on a second. But whereas in reality, there are portions of the United States themselves that are in serious distress, and not fake distress like you think, like the Palestinians are in, that you think they're in. They are actually fake distress. In other words, no distress. See, because you're being told that the Palestinians are in distress, and by Palestinians, we're talking about basically Muslim Arabs. Is what
what
we're
I'm
talking
talking
about.
what I'm talking about is, the actual, when bombs are dropped
But
and
there's no
shootings take
bombs. What bombs are you talking about? Literally, there's
when
no. But when was the last time you heard of a bomb being dropped?
I'm just saying, like, let's say in the
When
last five
I'm
From
asking
the
you,
Israeli side, because from
when was
the
the last time?
Palestinian side,
from either side, if deaths occur that are
When was the last time you heard of a bomb
hold on,
being?
that's just part of my argument.
It's like going back. It's like if I'm going to bring an example from German history from the 1930s and 40s, which is not relevant today, and that seems to be what you're doing. You're bringing up something. There's no bombs. There's no conflict. It's not happening, but you're bringing it up as if it is, but it isn't. And I pointed out to you that there's more conflict in New York and there's more conflict in Chicago and probably in LA than there
Okay.
is in Israel.
Then, okay, so, but that has not much to do with my real argument, which is trying to be a solution here. Okay.
But there's no problem
Hold on.
to have to solve.
But the problem is that some people think that land that they should have is not yet theirs. Not
who's
right?
theirs and who's them and who's are some people that think and what are you talking about?
The Jewish people that want that Jewish state.
May I say something now, Sydney?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, so going back to the creation of the state of Israel, are you aware that in the same day, at the same time when Israel was created, there was also a state created for the Islamic people? There were not only Israel created, there were two, at least at this area, what I told you, the 25%, which was left, there were two states created. And before that, it was a colony, meaning this place was occupied by Britain, right? There were no Jews and no Arabs which had the power to have a state there. But after the World War II, there was a plan, let's create two states, one for them and one for them. The Jews said, yes, we love it, we have a state. The Muslims said, fuck it, we want to have it all. And this is how the conflict started.
When was this?
1948.
Okay,
before that, this whole area was colonized, occupied for hundreds of years by Britain.
Yeah. I wish that someone who was a little more well-versed in this topic would come in and talk about this, because I have an impression of it that is not correct, obviously.
Well, I have an idea that if I was given the time to talk and not be sort of railroaded, I might be able to get across at least an answer to the questions as you throw them at me.
Get railroaded? When?
When I don't finish, when I can't finish my thought, it's nice to have a train of thought and get everything out.
Right.
So ask a direct question, and then I can sort of give a bit of a hand.
Okay. So it's not in the Bible at all that the Jewish people have land there that's theirs.
It's got nothing to do with the Bible right at this point. The Bible is a book of fiction, okay? We know that. We've spoken about that a million times before, that the Bible is a book of fiction.
What was the entity again that said, okay, this is the Jewish state?
That was the United Nations.
That was the United Nations. And in what year did that happen?
1947.
Okay, so right before the Muslims said we want it all? That's not your land?
That's correct. Yeah, well, what they did was the United Nations took the land and divided it up between the Jewish Palestinians and the Arab Palestinians. And the Jewish Palestinians said, okay, we'll take that land and we'll call it Israel. And then the Arab Palestinians said, No, well, we're not accepting the land you give us. And number one, we're not accepting that the Jews have the land that they call Israel, and we're going to kick them out and drown them in the sea. And here we come. And they came, but the Jews, because they had no choice. If you had no choice, your back's against the wall, and you just had Hitler behind you, kill your, kill everybody without giving them a second chance. You know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what you're up against. So the Arabs really, you got to figure out, they stood no chance against Jews that had just been released from concentration camps. So the Arabs lost the battle, and the Jews basically took what was left after the battle, what they what they were left with, and that was Israel, and that's been Israel all the way up till today. And every time the Arabs attack them because they don't want them to be there, and the Jews beat them militarily and take land, well, what are you supposed to do? Stop attacking Israel, and you won't lose land. Essentially, that's the story. Right now, they're on the verge of annexing land that they've agreed with Donald Trump to make it a really secure and fair and workable, sustainable future. And I'm loving. And I think they're on the right track. I like it. And go ahead, Pio.
Are you still there?
Or yeah. Do you have another question?
Who, me?
You.
Maybe. Hold on.
See what should be is that where Israel is right now, that should be Israel, and where Jordan is right now, that should be Palestine. That's essentially the two-state solution that's the only two-state solution that'll ever work if it were to be implemented. Nothing else is going to work.
Let's see. Do I have any other questions? Oh, hey, it's Moshe.
Yes, Moshe is watching the live stream.
Was he?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And he
How's
told
it
us
going?
he told us to be nice.
Be nice. Okay. I see. Yeah. Moshe, maybe you could tell us your view on this.
On what?
We're discussing. The question is Zionism. What is it?
Oh,
Uh-oh. He sounds exhausted already.
Well, he was watching. He knows exactly what we're talking about.
yeah, no, I didn't know if you changed the topic.
No.
Yeah. Enough of it.
So, do you have any other questions then, or not? I guess.
Okay, so it seems like in many Orthodox and ultra-Orthodox families, there's a lot of males who intend to, I don't know if they're becoming rabbis, but like their main purpose in life, their main occupation is to study and to I don't know exactly what their goal is, but it's like, a lot of study every day of what is it, the Talmud? Is that right? Am I wrong on that?
I think it's another book. It's kind of it's a collection of old tracts.
Well, my point is like, what is the goal?
So she is right. It's the Talmud.
What is the goal? What is the goal? Good
goal
question.
of all these men who, let's say they have a family, and the instead of having like any kind of a career, going to college or anything like that, he just goes to this, studies Talmud, like
Right.
that.
Yeah. What is the goal? Good question.
So I have no idea.
Was the question for me?
For anyone that can answer it, I guess.
Well, I say it's impossible to answer.
Oh, what do you mean? was in your family and you were the one that was in that position of studying and that was your full-time thing, like, would your family have, do you think, in mind, like, would they want you to be like a rabbi? Like, what's the goal for that?
No, it's impossible to explain even what, like, you call it studying. It's not really studying. It's I don't know. Like, it's not now that I'm struggling. I always struggle. Like always when I try to explain to you what's called the yeshiva. No, that was not a question. Oh, of course. I said, for me, it's impossible to explain.
Why?
What I wonder is, are we looking for a large number of people who are like participating in some kind of religious activities, and that's their, I guess, their purpose in life is just to be, like fully immersed in the religious world and maybe become a rabbi. I don't know if there's anything below that, but just in that world, like, do ultra orthodox men ever go and do other things, like become a cook or a TV repairman or a doctor, a lawyer? Do they ever become those things, or do they always just stay within the religion and doing religious things as their occupation?
Of course they work. Like any other human being, you need to live.
Hold on a second. How can they work if they're studying Talmud all day?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you need to live, you need to work. If you somehow have money, you don't need to work.
Who somehow has money? I
You're
don't
not.
somehow. Does anybody here somehow have money?
I have
Anyone?
zero money.
Do you know anybody who has somehow has money? Okay, what do you mean? Sorry, I didn't mean
Either
to.
make money or are born into it. Those are the
I didn't mean to laugh at you. But what do you mean somehow has money?
No, I mean, no, I'm just, it's the opposite. I'm kind of like, what's the question? Obviously, if you don't have money, so you work. Yeah.
No, but it's so obvious that there's hundreds of thousands of men in black hats and black coats and black jackets and tzitzits, and they
Most
all
of them
at
work.
yeshiva, and they're all studying Talmud.
No, that's not true.
What do
Most
they
of
do?
them
What?
work too.
They might be business owners or something. Maybe they're not on the front line.
Oh, come on. Have you seen the crowds? Have you seen the crowds at these places? Who's going to employ these people? These young kids, they're all running
That's not what
around.
I mean. Like,
Who's
if you
going to
have
employ them? They've all just come out of yeshiva. All they know is Talmud, and they're wearing black, and they're looking very Jewish, and they're looking for a job. Who's going to employ them? What can they do? What skills do they bring? Nothing. Or am I wrong, Moshe?
I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know about nothing.
Okay, then what skills
Plus,
do they
like,
bring?
if you're Orthodox, you don't have to be dressed like that all the time. There's like a down
Right.
modified way of dressing. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to wear like a special, maybe a yarmulke, but not a big, special hat or
Well, it
anything.
all depends how you express. What is the determining factor, Moshe, on how you dress or present your conservative self as a Jewish duty?
Well, what's determining what kind of clothes do you wear?
Yeah, what kind of conservative presentation you present to the world?
it's very community based. Every community have their, like, I'm not too concerned about this, but yeah, every community have their own rules. It's nothing like any, like all of the Orthodox. It's very, each small community have.
So what does that mean, really? I don't quite understand.
That's what determines, meaning there's no
There's no uniformity of preference,
yeah,
right? It just kind of happens as it does in their communities.
What are you talking
and
about? When I see masses of people wearing exactly the same clothing, and that's all black hats, and they've got earlocks, and they're carrying a book, and they're all got beards, and they're looking at the floor, and they're rushing around as if they've got somewhere to go, and all they know is well, nothing. Like, and you've seen pictures. There's thousands and thousands of them, all dressed the same. So those are the people we're talking about. How come those are the ones who dress correctly, and the rest of us, I don't know, maybe they look down on? I'm not all that well versed with on the religious side, the interdenominational religious infighting. I'm not all sure. I'm not sure how that politics works, but I'm sure it's there. Oh, I'm sure it's there.
That's a question I wonder sometimes about, like, let's say the most ultra orthodox sect of Jewish community, and then we've got on the farther end, the nearly secular, but still they're orthodox, but they're just barely over the line. Does one group see the other as invalid in some way?
Oh yeah.
Do they?
Oh yeah.
Because I've heard Jewish people that are not, that they may be Orthodox, but they're nowhere near the ultra, or they may be like on the other side, just practicing, like normal quote unquote Jews. They think of the ultra Orthodox as like truly like not part of that group. Like
they have nothing in common with them. They cannot they don't integrate with them. They don't, because they don't have they're always judging. The ultra orthodox are always judging because they feel that they set the example, and the example is because they don't really have an example, so all they do is they judge, make you feel guilty about something. No, it's not a nice. It's not. They're not nice people. Although they're always smiling at you.
I don't really know any personally. I've just seen like little documentaries and YouTube videos and stuff on people having like encounters.
I know personally. I know very personally. Well, not very personally, but personally enough. Personally enough to make a judgment call about the herd. Right, where are we going to go from here?
I don't know.
Yeah, I left like for 3 minutes, and you went from the Palestinians to kind of other topic. So
Yeah.
I
Could
didn't.
be that we're just petering out.
We are. We may be petering out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, then let's just make it call it a day.
We could. Watch, we'll do this, and then like 15 minutes later, we'll get on something really like awesome and juicy.
Okay, you know what we'll do?